wondered if this was what made the banker so ruthless, so narrow in his perceptions. At once, Cole chided himself for this ungenerous thought. There were plenty of men born and bred in the West who were just as ruthless as Maxwell Harris. And many a townsman, and certainly a great many sodbusters, had come to regard Cole's father as a harsh, unrelenting law unto himself, just as harsh and just as unrelenting as Harris appeared to them now. Even now, Cole knew, the presence of Del Randall had a way of quieting a saloon or sobering a poker game. But Del Randall was not Maxwell Harris, Cole told himself. No, his father was as tough and as unflinching as ironwood, but he was fair. No man could dispute that. As Cole watched, the banker suddenly pulled off the rough trail and guided his buggy toward a clump of cottonwoods on a rise to their right, leaving Marshal Poole and his deputy to ride on alone toward them. Cole glanced at his father. The old man had caught Harris's maneuver and swore with fine precision. He had been looking forward to a meeting with the banker, Cole realized. He smiled, relieved. With Harris keeping out of it, the marshal and his deputy should be easier to handle. The two lawmen were less than 50 yards away when they pulled up to wait for Cole and his party to reach them. As he rode closer, Cole studied the deputy sitting his horse beside Poole. He did not like what he saw. The deputy's name was Danny Larn. He had arrived in Broken Bow by stage less than 2 weeks before, but Cole had already heard quite a bit about him. On his arrival, he had left the stage expensively dressed, a gleaming pearl-handled Smith & Wesson laced gunslick fashion to his thigh. 2 days later, in the Lady Luck, poor Sam Bellows accidentally spilled whiskey on Larn's coat. Sam was a local hothead, always truculent in his cups. An argument followed, and before anyone could stop them, both men reached for their guns. Larn's polished Smith & Wesson flashed from its holster, spitting lead. Sam was dead before he hit the floor, 2 neatly spaced holes in his shirt. Thus had Danny Larn presented his credentials. He was another of the hired guns Harris was gathering around him, and his reluctant toady, Marshal Poole. And this was the man who was today siding a U.S. deputy marshal. They had ridden close enough now, Cole judged. He reined in a few yards from the deputy, noting the man's hooded eyes, his cold, emotionless expression. The line of his mouth was thin, and his blade of a nose hooked slightly over his pencil-thin mustache. There was a light in Larn's eyes that disturbed Cole. It reminded him of a rope-shy bronc, mean and unpredictable, and very dangerous. Cole turned his attention to the U.S. Marshal. "Howdy, Poole." The man shifted unhappily in his saddle. He didn't like this any more than Cole did. "Howdy, Cole. Guess you know why we're here." Cole smiled thinly and indicated the cottonwoods where Harris had pulled up with a nod of his head. "And so does Harris. He's got himself a ringside seat, looks like." "Couldn't stop him from coming, Cole." "Just so he stays over there, out of trouble." "He will." Poole's deputy glanced with irritation at the U.S. Marshal. "You going to get on with this, Poole?" Poole shot him a glance. "Shut up, Larn." Larn's face went white and as cold as death, but he swallowed the rebuke without a rejoinder. Poole looked back at Cole. "I got a court order here, Cole, signed by Judge Warner, enjoining you to drive your cattle off this land." "This is Circle C land, Poole. We're not getting off." "It's railroad land, Cole." "You know that," Poole said patiently. "You knew that long ago." Cole's father spoke up then. "Serve that court order on the cattle, Poole." Poole showed sudden exasperation. He chucked his hat back off his forehead. "You can't fight the government, Cole." "Sure we can." "How?" "By fighting Harris." "It ain't Harris alone you're fighting." "Sure it is, Poole," said Cole's father coldly. "No, it ain't."